Welcome back to Chicago Couch Scouts. As the slow season of the sports calendar year starts to come to an end, we have the NFL season starting up in about 2.5 weeks now. So we're going to do our 2025-2026 NFL season preview. To cap it off, it's kind of started off, we're going to go through division by division, give our thoughts about each division, how we think it'll play out. Then we'll transition to some award predictions, and then finally cap it off with playoff talk and our eventual Super Bowl champion.
Do it.
So let's get started. Let's go NFC, and we can just go west to east. So we'll start in the NFC West. Kind of a tough division to predict. Honestly, it feels like there's a new division winner each year. If I had to guess personally, I do think the Rams are going to win this division. I think it's going to come down to Stafford's health. Obviously, we've seen some stuff about the back this offseason, but he just started practicing this week. They're saying he looks good, but we shall see.
Yeah, I think the Rams, if healthy, is what I would pick as well. You just don't know at this point with Stafford being so old and all the injury questions. I think every team in the division is good. Uh, the 49ers, they're just kind of old and the roster's kind of depleted, but I don't think they're going to be bad. And could I see them winning 10, 11 games and getting into the playoffs? Absolutely. Arizona, I think, is more of a projection, but I think they have a lot of pieces on offense. And the defense played well despite being probably the least talented unit in the NFL last year. So, all the additions they made on the D line, added Will Johnson as well at corner. I could see Arizona winning as well. Maybe not winning the division, but sneaking into the playoffs also. Seattle, I think, probably has the lowest ceiling for me, just because, I don't know what you're going to do with Sam Darnold. I don't see you winning more than 11, 12 games. Whereas these other teams, I could see San Francisco winning 7 or 13 games. I think there's a wide range of outcomes for them. But Seattle, I think, will slide in right between that 9 and 11 mark and, for sure be a good team. Really good roster, good coaching. I don't know about Darnold, but they should be solid for sure. It's just
Yeah, I think this is the division of self-inflicted wounds. I feel like it's gonna eat itself alive. I feel like you could see every team being around that 7 to 9 win range. I feel like that's a reasonable expectation to have for the NFC West this year. I do think I think every defense is pretty good. I think the 49ers obviously have gone from that top tier defense to losing a bunch of guys. They lost Dre Greenlaw, they lost Tufunga. Um yeah, so it's a little depleted. Hargraves is gone now, guys like that. But obviously the Rams are a young up and coming defense. Seattle's got a lot of guys with a defensive minded head coach. So does Arizona. I think it's gonna be really interesting. If I had to predict though, I do think it'll probably just come down to, without any health question marks, it will just come down to who has the best quarterback. And I think that's how the division will go about. I think so. I would go Rams, 49ers. I would lean Seattle because I'm kind of down on Kyler. And I think Arizona is probably finishing last in the division, but I do think the division won't be won by more than a game or two.
yeah. That's a good way to look at it. I would prefer Kyler to Darnold for sure. I'd probably even prefer Kyler to Brock Purdy, to be honest. I think there's more upside there. I think with the pieces Arizona has, and having a good defense finally, I see a lot of upside there. It might go wrong, and Kyler's just not that good, and they're just kind of a mid team. But I think if things go right, this could be a repeat of the good year they had with Cliff, when they first got DeAndre Hopkins and everything.
Yeah, I can see that. Um, we'll see. I haven't seen very promising things from their offensive camp updates, but I mean, obviously Kyler's a guy who has a ton of upside, and obviously with a true number one like Marvin Harrison, just need to give him the
Yeah, I just
ball.
think the line's pretty okay. They got Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison. They got a good running game. James Conner's good. I hated on him for years, but he's a genuinely solid running back. Um, Trey Benson, I think, is a solid option too behind him. I just think they're kind of explosive and if Kyler's gonna have a good year, it should be right now. So
Yeah,
I'm projecting that a little bit.
yeah. So I think we're both in agreement. The Rams are probably going to win this division.
Yeah, if
Um,
healthy, I'll go Rams for sure.
yeah, I just think that defense is way too good. Like
Yeah,
so
their
many young
defense is
stuff.
really good. They got, I mean, Puka's amazing. Devontae
Devontae Adams,
Adams,
yeah.
Tyron, like Stafford's a legit top 5 QB if he's still himself. So,
Hmm.
and McVay's a really top of the league coach. So yeah, they're one of the best teams in the league if they're actually healthy.
For sure. And obviously, like last year, people forget that they were on their way to beating the Eagles in that divisional round and came up just a few yards short, but definitely a good team. Think the defense improves even more. I think they're probably going to be the NFC West only playoff participant this year. But let's move it out more towards the Central America, NFC West or NFC North, my bad. Another tough division to predict. I think there's a lot of talent in this division. Obviously, you have my Bears, Caleb, big second year. First team offense looked good on Sunday night. Ben Johnson. Let's see what he can do. Detroit lost both their coordinators, Ben Johnson being one of them, Aaron Glenn being the other, to head coaching positions. Green Bay, solid as ever. Question mark for me would just be Love's consistency and how he plays. The defense has some question marks too. I would like the cornerbacks, not the best. And then Minnesota, obviously the big question mark is going to be JJ McCarthy and how well he plays.
Yeah, for me, this is like a really talented division. I guess I have like a unpopular take about it. Like I'm probably gonna pick the Lions being fourth. I think losing Ben Johnson's just absolutely huge for them. Not really sure what they have in place to kind of recoup the value that he brought to them. I mean, it's a talented group of playmakers, but I'm not so sure that they would, not that they're not good, but I think Ben Johnson got everybody to play at the top level that they could. Um, and I'm not sure Dan Campbell's like motivator style is just going to be able to do that unless they have like a truly elite coordinator to step up and replace Ben Johnson. I think they'll have a good running game. Their defense is going to be healthier, presumably, so that'll help. But I think the offense is going to take a major step back as a whole. Um, Minnesota, like you said, I think comes down to JJ. I think they'll be solid because like they're well coached, good defense. They're gonna put training wheels on him and just kind of get
The
through these
ball,
games.
they're run the ball a lot.
Green Bay, I think I'll pick Green Bay to win the division. I think they're underrated. I think Jordan Love's like legit good. I like their team overall. Corners like a for sure weak spot. Like they have Nate Hobbs and kind of nothing else. But I think everything else on the roster could be considered a strength for them. Receivers a little shaky, but like I kind of believe in like the role player kind of depth room that they have going on there. I think Matthew Golden will be really good as like the dependable number one guy. And add him to Jaden Reed and like the rest of the role players that they have. Um, yeah, I just see Green Bay as being really solid overall. Um, and then the Bears, like I think the Bears kind of like Minnesota, like I think they'll be solid. I think they have more upside than Minnesota, but they probably have a little bit more room to disappoint, even though the win total would probably be similar. Like I don't think the Bears will be lower than like 9 wins, but Minnesota probably same thing, like 9 wins. Um, but I think the Bears could probably win like 12 games if everything went right. Whereas like Minnesota, I don't think JJ is gonna have like that Patrick Mahomes type breakout year here. Like I think it's gonna be very like calculated, just like solid offense from Minnesota, let the defense do their job kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. Really stacked division. I kind of have some unpopular opinions about it, but it's really hard to project when like any one of those teams could legit just win it outright.
Yeah, I think for me personally, kind of in the opposite camp. I don't think Detroit's going to win. Would they win 13, 14 games last year? I don't think they're going to be that good again. I think they're going to come obviously due for some regression due to a tougher schedule, a tougher division. Obviously, losing the coordinators isn't going to help. I do think they're going to still win the division. I'll probably slot them in at like 10, 11 wins. I just think there's too much talent on the team. I think Dan Campbell is a better coach than people give him credit for. And he is an offensive guy. Like a lot of like I know like on PMT like they always say like Dan Campbell just seems like such a defensive guy because he's just such like a this like gritty motivator type of guy. But I think Jared Goff is actually a pretty good quarterback. Obviously, the weapons are there: Laporta, Williams, and St. Brown with Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield. The whole line is my biggest question mark. Obviously, losing Ragnow, who was such a big part of that O line, and I think Decker has been kind of injured this offseason. Um, so that's the biggest question mark for me. And then obviously the health on the defensive side of the ball. I think McNeil is out the whole year. Hutchison's obviously coming back from I think he tore his ACL or he like broke his leg or something, whatever it was. That's a tough injury to come back from, but I do think that the talent is there still. So I do think they're going to win the division. And I think it's a toss up between Green Bay and the Bears for a second. I'm just not I think Minnesota's gonna run the ball a lot, and teams are gonna stack the box and make JJ beat them, which he could. I think Kevin O'Connell's a good enough coach to like bring something out of JJ. I just don't really see it. Ever since like Michigan, like I think he's been fine. I think he could be like a game manager, be like a top 15 quarterback in the league, sure, but I don't think he's like a top 10, top 8 kind of guy. But I just think the inconsistency from Love kind of gives me pause with the Packers. I think all around their offense is pretty good. Obviously, Jacobs is a top 8 back in the league. The wide receivers, obviously, some question marks around there. Is Golden going to be good enough to be the true number one they've been looking for? I was kind of hoping Jane Reed would take that big step last year, and it looked like he was for the first few weeks of the season. That just kind of fell off a cliff. The old line's good. Let's see if they trade for Micah Parsons. That's the rumor right now. Kind of curious what that would look like. I think Micah Parsons would not want to end up in Green Bay, but who knows?
Yes.
Um,
I wish the Bears would go for that, but
yeah, that would be the ideal move. That would push them into the upper echelon of talent in the league, of the talented rosters of the league, I would imagine. Him next to Sweat would be very nice. Obviously, on a very good defense already. So I think my prediction for this division will be Lions. Probably some bias. I'll go Bears, Packers, Vikings, but I do think there's a strong possibility that there are 3 playoff teams from this division.
yeah.
Um,
I think 2 or 3 playoff teams for sure, but my
mhm.
final standings, I'll go Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions.
Okay. Uh, Kicking it down south, I think it's probably one of the more easier divisions in the NFC to predict. Um, Obviously you got Tampa, who's been running the NFC South for the good part of the 2020s, if not all the 2020s now. Atlanta, obviously a Michael Penix looking to make a year 2 jump with some decent weapons around him. Obviously you got Pitts, you got Bijan, you got London, you got Darnell Mooney. Made some moves to the defensive side of the ball this offseason that I liked. Obviously, they had that pretty wild trade in the draft. So we'll see how that plays out. But New Orleans is probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league. And then Carolina, who looked pretty good in the second half of the season. Um, I
Yeah,
think
I
this
think
one's
Tampa's obviously the favorite here.
yeah.
One of the more underrated teams in the league, I think. I think Tampa's like in that like Rams territory where they're just like consistently good and kind of sneaky. Carolina's kind of fun. Like Bryce Young looked good at the end of last season. I like the Ted McMillan draft pick for sure. Um, so that duo is definitely something to look out for. Um, New Orleans is gonna be terrible. Like Tyler Shook, I don't understand what's going on there. I feel like they
Is
let
he
that
gonna
draft
start
pick
a
go.
rattler? I don't even know.
I, if Rattler's starting, that's bad news. Like
They're on
25-year-old second round pick, like he's got to be playing.
they're on
But
some
Atlanta's kind of fun too. Really good offense. I guess the question would be like, can the defense be good? Because like that could take them to the next level. Penix looked pretty solid at the end of last year as well. So maybe he could take a jump. They kind of have like a defensive head coach. I don't know if Raheem Morris was the right answer for that team, but we'll see because they're very talented for sure. A lot of weapons, so it's a good situation in that respect for Penix.
Kind of in the same boat. I think this division's probably pretty clear cut. I think it's probably gonna be pretty similar to how it has been recently. I think Tampa's gonna win it. I think they're a sneaky NFC representative for the Super Bowl contender, if that's the correct way to put it. Uh, they got pretty good odds to win the NFC. I think they're like 15-1. I just think Atlanta, like the defense, I just can't like I like the two draft picks. I didn't love the trade they made to get
Yeah.
Pierce, but obviously they're trying to address that side of the ball, which is smart. I do think Tampa's just a better team. They won't have worse for a few games to start the year. But I don't think that's too much of a concern. Obviously, he's one of the best tackles in the league, but I think they'll be fine without him. Obviously, Ibuka is a very interesting pick. McMillan's out for at least 9 weeks this year. Announced today, and obviously Godwin starting the year on. I don't know if he'll be on IR or PUP, probably IR, but that'll be an interesting wide receiver duo to start the year. Obviously, you got Bucky Irving, Rashad White, Sean Tucker. You got a good backfield. So I'm gonna go Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans. But I think Carolina's a sneaky could beat out Atlanta team if Bryce Young keeps playing how he played at the end of last year.
Yeah, I'll agree with your order, and I agree with like the Carolina eval, I guess. I think if Bryce Young keeps it up, like there's like a decent ceiling there. Like I could see them getting to 10 wins and
Yeah,
like something goes wrong in Atlanta.
yeah.
All of a
Who
sudden
knows?
Carolina's in second place, like fighting for that 7 seeds.
Yeah, I could see it. Canales seems like a pretty good coach, so who knows? But all right, let's finish off that NFC. Moving to the East, another division that has a new winner literally every year. I still think we're on the hasn't been a repeat winner in like 30 years trend. Um, Obviously, Philly won it last year. You got some sneaky teams in this division. Obviously, Dallas is going to be better with Dak being back. The defense has some question marks. Is Micah Parsons going to play? I would imagine he does, and they get a contract worked out. Um, you have the Commanders who made the NFC Championship game last year. Jane Daniels had a fantastic rookie season. Can he continue that trend? Um, some interesting additions for the Commanders. Obviously, they shored up the old line at tackles with Tunsil and Connerly. Need to give Terry his contract, but I think they'll get that worked out. Philly is Philly. They're going to be good again. They obviously lost a few guys, but they're so loaded, it doesn't really matter. And then the Giants, who I think could have a sneaky good defense. That D line is probably up there with Phillies in terms of talent. So this one's a tough division to predict.
Yeah, I have a hot take for this one. I think Dallas is gonna finish last. Just seems like the wheels are kind of falling off for them. They kind of haven't got better the last few years. It seems like they've been just kind of trying to replace the legends that they lost on the O line, and they've done so successfully. It's just like that's kind of where all their resources have gone, and the rest of the team hasn't got better at all. They
Mhm.
got George Pickens, but like I'm not sure what that means with all his George Pickens
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I think their running game is going to be terrible. I think they're running Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders out there, so that's not ideal. Yeah, I think this is the year that like Dallas is like actually gonna consider moving on from Dak because it's like Jerry Jones loves Joe Milton. Like if they if they start losing games, like I
Fucking
think
throw
that
Joe
might be
Milton
it.
out there.
And then the Micah trade request too. Like you don't know if that's serious or him just trying to get money, but like if Micah gets traded, like that could be the first domino of this Cowboys downfall that I'm predicting. I kind of agree with what you're saying about the Giants. Like I think with Dable, um, and like that D line's insane. Their DBs are solid too. Like I think that's gonna be a good defense. They have a good offensive coach. I don't believe in Jackson Dart, but like I believe in Dable, and he got Daniel Jones to a passable levels. I think like a similar sort of thing will happen. And like if it's Russ, they'll be fine. Like Russ is Russ at this point. Like
Mm,
they'll be all right. Um,
my bad. Go.
Philly or Washington. It's kind of tough. I think I'll just go with the Philly. Like you said, there hasn't been a back-to-back winner, but I think like Philly's just probably the most talented in the league, top to bottom. They're just absolutely loaded everywhere. Um, Washington's fun. I kind of believe in their weird moves more than most people. I think getting Laramie Tunsil and Debo in there is pretty good for them. But I think Philly's like automatic 12, 13, 14 wins. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be tough to live up to.
Yeah. I think I'm in the same exact boat because I think I know the order you're going with. I think Philly, Washington. I'm in the same boat. I think Dallas, you know, I'm not a big Schottenheimer guy. I kind of was puzzled by that decision. So I think they will finish last, and I'll have the Giants finishing out third here. If the NFC North does have the two wild card spots, I do think like obviously Washington or Philly, whoever finishes second here, will get the third one. Um, but yeah, that caps off that's the order you were going with. I'm assuming, right? Based off.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, so that's the NFC there. Let's kick it out to the AFC. Let's go the same order. Let's start with the West. Another really interesting division. I have a hot take. I think the Broncos are going to win this division this year. Uh, Obviously, I think Sean Payton's one of the better coaches, if not like one of the top five coaches in the league. I was not a Bo Nix believer, and he had Bo Nix playing at an insane level last year. I love their defense. Nick Benito, Sertan, like they just picked up what's his face from Texas, the corner. Um they're just making a strength an even bigger strength. I think KC's obviously been showing signs of slowing down in recent years. I know we always say this that they're just slowing down, but they always just win the division and make the Super Bowl. But I think this is the year Denver makes a move and wins this division.
yeah, can't really agree there. I'm gonna continue to be the low man on Bo Nix probably forever. I think I'm just gonna go with Kansas City again. I think Denver and LA will be pretty good again. I'm probably higher on Denver than the Chargers. I just It's easier to believe in Sean Payton than it is for with Harbaugh for me. I think Harbaugh's a good coach, but like they do some weird shit there. Whereas like Sean Payton, it's just like everything seems to work for Sean Payton coach teams. But yeah, I think that'll be the top three. I'll probably go Denver over LA. And then I think the Raiders are gonna be bad. Honestly, like they have some fun pieces on offense. I think Geno's like a top 20 QB, and he'll be solid enough. But like their O line's bad. Their defense is atrocious all around. Besides
Yeah.
Max Crosby, pretty much. Like
Yeah.
I just I don't see it in Vegas this year.
I'm
Um,
not a Pete Carroll guy either. I'm not buying
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I don't like. Pete Carroll's known for coaching the greatest defense of all time, and now he kind of has no talent on defense. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's gonna go.
So you're going KC, Denver, LA, Vegas.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna go Denver, KC, LA, Vegas. I would have been higher on LA had Slater not gotten hurt. I think
yeah, it's a big blow.
Yeah, I think Harbaugh just like wins wherever he goes. I'm a believer in Justin Herbert. Obviously they're gonna be run heavy. They just took Hampton in the first round and signed Najee, but who knows? He might be blind, even more blind than he was before. Um, but yeah, they have a good defense. This will be an interesting, kind of fun division to watch. Really curious to see how the Chiefs play. Obviously, Mahomes has kind of lost that number one QB in the league label, I feel like. Obviously with Allen and Lamar, and then obviously Burrow playing as well as they have been recently. Um,
Yeah, I kind of don't get it. Like they've literally went to the Super Bowl every single year, and like he's like the third or fourth rated QB in Madden this year. I was like, what
yeah.
is going on?
Um,
Like I don't know. That's
I
like
mean, yeah,
Tom Brady fatigue.
yeah, pretty much. Like he's just not putting up the like huge passing stats that he was when he was.
Yeah, he just kind of like dumps it off and fucking runs for a first down on third down. Like
Yeah, but he's a winner.
nobody will
But
let him throw deep anymore.
yeah, no. The
But
whole NFL is the NFL as a whole like some like the receiving numbers. Like I saw a post like uh Too High Shell has ruined the NFL, and it was just like a picture
Yeah,
of, it was like a 20, I don't know, 16 like NFL receiving leaders, and it was like Brandon Marshall and had like the fifth most receiving yards, and he had like 1,600. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, I mean, obviously they're not gonna let Mahomes air it out, but I just think like Kelsey's looked really bad last year. The run at like Pacheco,
I feel like it's got to be on a year-to-year basis for Kelsey at this point. Like
yeah,
this might be it.
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, those are our predictions for the West. Let's move it to the North, where your Cleveland Browns reside. Obviously, has been labeled the best division in football the past like 5 years, I would say. Um, you got two MVP candidate quarterbacks at the top, probably with Lamar and Joe Burrow, and then you got Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin. Let's see if they can keep that uh better than 500 streak going. And the Browns, who I think might surprise some people. I think they're gonna win more games than people think.
Hopefully not, but
Personally, I think no one's topping Baltimore in this division. I think Lamar
yeah,
might win MVP again. He probably should have won it last year if we're going based off stats and not like team record and stuff like that. And head to head, obviously you have Derrick Henry still. You have Zay Flowers. The wide receivers are still like a question mark to me because I'm not a big Zay Flowers guy. I think like the step Bateman took last year was pretty impressive to see. I hope he like continues to grow from that because I really liked him coming out of college. Um, but yeah, I mean the Ravens are solid all around. The defense is really good. Who was their first round pick this year? Did they have a first rounder?
starts.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean obviously they just take the best defensive guy that falls. But yeah, I think Baltimore wins this division. I have a
Yeah,
hard
I'm
time
with you
saying the
there.
Bengals are gonna win. They come in second though. Um,
I think the with the Bengals, it's just gonna like there's a low ceiling because of how bad the defense is, but
mm,
like they're gonna win these shootouts with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T Higgins, and they're gonna be
Chase
ridiculous in
Brown. Yeah,
fantasy. So
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
just like I don't know, and I don't think the Steelers are winning more than 10 games, and I think
yeah,
like the Bengals will be right around there. So I'm just gonna go with the upside of the Bengals, honestly.
yeah. I agree.
And then like
I just
this, I'm
don't.
going, yeah, I'm going Bengals in second for sure. But Steelers third, I think, with Rodgers. Like they're not gonna be ass. Like Rodgers is washed, but like he's not atrocious. So I'd like it'll be an improvement from Kenny Pickett and Justin Fields and Russ.
I'm curious to see the. I keep forgetting DK is on the Steelers. Um, I'm curious to see that connection. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
kind of
I
in the
feel like
same.
that's a little underrated. Like if Rodgers has any arm left, like DK could be in a good spot this year.
Yeah, but the defense should be fine. Like I think they got a lot of like. I mean, I think Jalen Ramsey's still good, but like I think Darius Slay is kind of running on half a leg at this point. He's pretty old, and I like people are saying like they got three number one cornerbacks. I don't think Joey Porter Jr. is that good. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the defense should be fine. Like they'll probably
But it's the Steelers though, so it's gonna be like when they got Joe Hayden, he's just gonna like respawn in at fucking 34 and have an all
yeah,
pro season.
probably. But yeah, I think that order is pretty fair. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. I do think the Browns will
Yeah.
be solid. Like I think the defense is good. I think Flacco can like keep you in some games until Shadur.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about is like the defense is gonna be better than people expect and like they've won with similar offense structure, I guess, to like what they're gonna have this year. So I don't want them to be good, but it might happen because like
Like, I could
their
see them
defense
sitting
is
around
extremely
500.
underrated.
Yeah, I
Even without Martin Emerson, like Martin Emerson was terrible last year anyway. So like I get he's hurt, but like they'll be fine.
yeah. All right, let's move to the South. Kind of the worst. I think this might be the worst division in football, for being honest. I don't know who's gonna win this division. Houston, I think, is gonna take a step back. Like the O line's bad. I think Nico Collins and CJ Stroud will link up a lot. He'll have a pretty good year. Tennessee's probably gonna be pretty bad. I think Cam Ward will be fine. Daniel Jones is starting for the Colts. The Jags, I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence guy, not a huge believer in Liam Cohen, but I kinda think they're gonna win this division just based off
Yeah, I agree. I'm picking the Jags too. Like Liam
like
Cohen seems like kind of like a cornball, but like they have a lot of explosive talent on offense, and like
yeah,
I don't think their defense is that bad. Like it's not good, but like I think they'll have a passable defense, and like they could win 10 games in this division and win it.
yeah, I mean,
'Cause,
the
like,
rest of
I agree with you on Houston, like, I don't know how CJ Stroud's gonna play with that O-line, like, he took a step back last year, and, like, they didn't really support him at all, like, they drafted a bunch of receivers, and that's about it. Um,
and traded Laramie Tunsil.
yeah, traded Laremy Tunsil away, like, I don't know what it's gonna look like in Houston. Tennessee, I think Tennessee's a little underrated roster, but, like, rookie quarterback, like, I don't see them winning more than, like, 7, 8 games. Um And then Indianapolis, like, I feel like they're like a sneaky team to like win the division as well, like just by default, like, because I feel like they won't be that bad. Like, they made the decision to go with Daniel Jones. It's like a job saving, like, floor raising kind of move there. So, like, I think they'll be in the mix kind of how they have been, like 8, 9, 10 wins. And like, if the rest of these teams are bad, like, it might just be the Colts. So,
Yeah. Um, yeah,
but
I don't know how to predict this one.
final prediction, I'll go Jags, Texans, Colts, Titans.
I'm gonna go Jags, Texans, Titans, Colts. We'll see. I think the Colts could be better than that, but I just Daniel Jones starting a quarterback's a tough look. Um, but yeah, so those are our division predictions. Let's move it on. Obviously, we got to do our regular season awards. I'm gonna pull up the odds. Let's do MVP, Offensive Defensive Player of the Year, uh, Offensive Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year. We'll do those. How many is that? 6? We'll do those. I'm gonna pull up the odds right now just to get a better sense of what the mindset is. I already kind of have a feeling I know what I'm gonna do for MVP, probably Offensive Player of the Year as well. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, the top 5 in MVP, I mean, the MVP is going to be a quarterback. It's nearly impossible
We
not for
skipped the AFC East.
Oh shit, my bad. All right. Cut that part.
I like
Um,
zoned out for a second, and then you were talking about the MVPs. I was like, "Yo, what about the Patriots?
my fault, my fault. All right.
What
Finishing
about
up
the
the
fucking Dolphins, dog?"
finishing up the AFC, we move into the East.
The Bills
Um,
Mafia is gonna be fucking pissed.
Pissed. Yeah, my fault. So AFC East could be interesting. I mean, I think the Bills are gonna win it. I don't think the Patriots are talented enough to win it yet. I think they're on their way. Obviously
Yeah,
Drake May needs to take a step. I like what they did this offseason though. I think them and the Bears had like the 2 better off seasons in the NFL. I thought they drafted really well, put a lot of young talent around May. Um, but yeah, I think this one's probably pretty easy. I think that I'll go Bills, Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are just gonna crumble, and I think McDaniel's probably gonna get fired, and he'll get picked up by like the 49ers again, and then it'll.
yeah. I think the wheels are falling off in Miami as well. I'll pick them to be third though. I think the Jets are just gonna be terrible. Like Justin Fields, like I don't know. With Justin Fields on with a defensive minded head coach, like
Again.
yeah. So I'll go Miami third, Jets fourth, Patriots second. I agree. I think they had a great offseason. Drake May's gonna keep getting better. They're just gonna be kind of solid this year. I think those other two teams are gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah, I think
And
the
then the
Patriots
Bills
are.
will
Go ahead, sir.
yeah, and then the Bills will just win it outright.
Yeah,
Another solid Bills kind of season. They're kind of not that talented, but like yeah, I don't think the Patriots are quite ready.
yeah. I think the Patriots will. I think they could sneak into a wild card for sure. I think it will kind of depend how the Steelers and Chargers play, but I think they can sneak into one for sure.
Yeah, AFC's a little like up in the air with those wild
Yeah,
cards, so
yeah.
could see could see
Very
anyone
top
really.
heavy. Very top heavy. But yeah, so those are our official standing predictions. The uh finished the AFC. But now that that's the regular season done and dusted, now we gotta talk awards. We'll do MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then we'll cap it off with Coach of the Year. The like the least important award, which is Coach of the Year. I wouldn't say least important, but out of the ones we are doing, I think the two. Most of the time, this is going to like a first year head coach. I feel like, or just like some team that's was like supposed to be terrible, and then all of a sudden like wins like 9, 10
Yeah.
games.
I think
Uh,
based on what we went over, like the names that jump out to me are Vrabel and Cohen.
yeah, I think Johnson too. I think the three bigger names that got hired this offseason. Yeah, I mean, I'll go. Hmm, I'm just looking at the odds right now. I don't mind Mike McDonald either. Like, I feel like if Seattle's pretty good, like, I feel like that could be interesting. They win the division, but I think I'll go Vrabel. I think we're probably both gonna pick Vrabel, based off what we've been talking about, and how we think they might make the playoffs. Going from having a top 5 pick to making the playoffs in one off season would definitely put him at the top of the Coach of the Year odds. But yeah, I think. Are you here? You're from. Oh, yeah, good. All right. I'll just start over. Um, so yeah, I think Cohen, Vrabel, and Johnson are probably the three. They are the three favorites for the award, according to FanDuel. But I think we're probably both going to be in agreement based on how our conversation just went. I think Vrabel's probably going to win this award.
Yeah.
Um,
Like they were the fourth pick in the draft, and like I think they're gonna win like 9, 10 games. So
yeah, maybe
it's
sneak
just
into the playoffs. Like that's such a big jump that'll be hard to
yeah.
ignore.
It's a very narrative award. Like it's like big jump, and like if nobody takes a big jump, they like look for like the coach to feel bad for. Like Stefanski got it because he won with fucking Joe Flacco and PJ
Yeah,
Walker. Like they're like,
yeah.
oh, poor Stefanski. He's coach of the year
um,
twice.
I do think it will probably come down to the two favorites and Johnson and Variable. So I think whoever's team finishes with the better record will probably just get it. Um, but yeah, we're in agreement there with Coach of the Year. Can move it along to let's go Defensive Rookie of the Year. Um, Obviously there's the big favorite, number 2 pick, Abdul Carter. You got guys like Jalen Walker, Travis Hunter, obviously. Um, who else could be in contention? Maybe someone like James Pierce, someone Jade Barron, Malachi Starks, like guys like that. I do think it's probably just gonna be the favorite with Abdul Carter.
Yeah, I think Carter will get like 10 sacks and just win it.
Yeah, I mean he's playing on such a loaded defensive line that he's probably gonna put up stats. And if that defense is as good as we think it will be, they're probably gonna be a top 5 unit in all of football. So be tough not to give that award to Abdul Carter there. But yeah, those two were easy. In agreement there.
Offensive rookie of the year is more tough. I think like
Yeah,
with Cam Ward being a quarterback, it's like if he has a pretty good year, he might win it. Like kind of
yeah,
like just that's how they do the awards. QB's weighted more heavily.
yeah,
But I think Ashton Genty's got to be the obvious favorite. Like he's gonna get so much run in Las Vegas. Like obviously they have Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, some good pieces, but there's gonna be a heavy focus on Ashton Genty running the ball. So I think
yeah.
he's an easy like 1,000 plus yard guy. Um, Maybe pushing 2,000 like scrimmage yards. So yeah, I think he's got to be the favorite for it right now.
Yeah, it's hard not to pick Genty. I kind of feel like teams are gonna like they play in a division with 3 very good defenses. So like right off the bat, that's 6 games where he's gonna be playing probably close to top 10 defenses in football. I think it's gonna be tough because I think they're gonna stack the box heavily against him. They're gonna try and make Geno beat him. So I'll go with a little someone down in the odds a little bit. I'm kind of leaning between Henderson and McMillan. I'm gonna go Tetaroa McMillan though. I think he's like coming in and he's by far the best option on that offense. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. Bryce Young looked very good at the end of last year. If he can keep growing from where he was last year, it will be a very interesting offense. I really like McMillan. And I think he's gonna be like that Mike Evans and that Dave Canales offense. So I'm gonna go Tet to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he'll probably put up like 1,000 yards, like 6, 7 touchdowns, something like that.
I will say though, like if Travis Hunter gets 1,000 yards playing receiver, they're gonna give him the award just so he wins one of the awards, like
Yeah,
playing both sides. Like
yeah,
so, I think like that's a layer there.
yeah, for sure. Or if he has like 5 picks, like he'd probably be.
Yeah,
But we'll see how
like
much of both
whatever one
sides.
he ends up playing primarily, like if he's exceptional, they're gonna give him one of the awards because of the two-way, I feel like.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, we'll see because he's supposed to play more offense, right, than defense.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Which I
I could
think
see.
makes more sense.
Yeah. And especially in today's NFL, the wide receiver spot might be slightly more valuable to have, especially an explosive guy like Travis Hunter. But yeah. So Luch going with Genty for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I'm gonna take T Mac, Tedoroa McMillan. Let's kick it to Defensive Player of the Year. Stay on the. I'm gonna go. Obviously, you got like the main guys. I don't want to just like go very chalk because I feel like we've gone chalk for the first few. The main guys being like Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, Aiden Hutchinson's probably up there in odds. I kind of want to go with a sleeper pick. I'm between two guys. I'm gonna go with Jared Verse. He had a very good rookie year. He looked very explosive. I think he's only going to get better. I think their defense only is getting better. I'm going to go a little down the board and take Jared Verse for Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to have like 15 plus sacks. The defense is going to be like top 5 in the league. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going with Myles Garrett.
He's fourth in odds right now, plus 850, tied with TJ Watt.
It's Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Best defensive player in the league. The defense, is, like we said, is probably going to be better than people think. So he could put up a 20 sack season. I could totally see that. Um, yeah, offensive player of the year, I think gets a little tricky because I feel like the offensive players are just so loaded in the NFL these days. So this is like the kind of like the consolation prize to like a skill position player who's not a quarterback putting up an insane year. Um, obviously, I think Chase won it last year, right? Um, so this is usually a running back or wide receiver. Kind of tough. I think I'm gonna go running back. I'm gonna go. Oh no, Saquon won it last year, not Chase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, Saquon put up 2,000 yards. Um, I'm gonna go Bijan, however he wants to be called. Um, I think he had like almost 1,500 yards rushing last year. I think he probably had 2,000 scrimmage yards. I think Atlanta's offense is going to get better. It's going to depend how Penix plays, but I think he's going to put up an unreal year. I think he's talented enough. I was between him and Gibbs. I think Gibbs is finally going to become the like go-to main running back in Detroit over Montgomery. So I think one of those two will probably win this award. I could also see it being Chase. Like he could put up another, what was it, like 1,700 receiving yard season last year. I think those would be my three guys, but I think I'll lean Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan was definitely on my list. I'm just gonna fade him because I'm lower on Atlanta. I'm gonna try to stay consistent with my picks. I'm gonna go with Brian Thomas from the Jags. I think they're gonna be pretty good. I think he proved that he's like an insane deep threat down the field. Him and Trevor have a good connection. I'm gonna predict that Brian Thomas has a 1,500 plus yard season with
All
like
right.
10 touchdowns. Powers the Jags to the playoffs. I was thinking about
Okay.
Mike Evans too, um,
That'd be
but
interesting.
save the Bucks love for the last selection.
Oh, okay. A little sneak peek. Yeah, I guess just roll right into it with
Right
MVP.
into it. Yeah, I'm going with MVP Mayfield. The prophecy's being fulfilled in 2026. Um, 40 touchdowns last year. How about 44 this year? Lower the interceptions a little bit, up the win total. Like it's can see how it could happen for Baker. Can see how
Yeah,
they're
I think there's definitely a path to it. Obviously they're gonna be a good enough team. They're gonna have the record,
beat
and
up on that weak division. Like
yeah,
16 touchdowns right there. Easy.
Yeah. Um, I'm not there. I'm a little closer to chalk on this one. I think I'm gonna go Burrow. I think he finally has the record to like match the stats for them to justify giving him the award. Similar to Lamar, like I feel like Burrow should have been talked about more to win MVP last year. His stats were pretty insane.
Yeah.
Um,
I think like I could totally see the pathway for Burrow because the defense is so bad. Like they're gonna have to throw a lot. Like even the games they lose, he's gonna put up stats in just because of the defense. Yeah, like I could totally see it. Like I think definitely targeting T Higgins in fantasy. Like I think Cincinnati's gonna be throwing the ball quite a bit.
I think their whole offense is just gonna be putting up numbers in
Yes,
fantasy. Chase, Higgins,
except
and
the tight end,
Brown.
of course.
Yeah, I don't even know. Is Gesicki still their tight end?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
They don't.
did they
They
pick?
don't
I feel
use.
like they picked up Fant too, or who knows? But yeah, like you said, they don't even use a tight end. But yeah, so that's probably the six major awards. Obviously, there's like the comeback player of the year, but who really cares about that one? So we went through our standings, we went through our awards. It's time to look at the playoffs. We're gonna predict our conference championship games and then our Super Bowl matchup and Super Bowl winner right now. Um,
NFC. Um, I like the Bucks and I like the Rams. I think for that conference
it's interesting.
championship, go
Yeah,
with two
that's
sleepers. Say one of them knocks the Eagles out. Uh, and I'll go with the Bucks to beat the Rams. I'll go with Baker MVP and Super Bowl
okay.
appearance.
I like that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Bucks, but I think I'm also gonna go Philly. Bucks, Philly. I do think Philly's just too talented to lose, but I think it'll be a good game. I know Tampa kind of beat up on them in the regular season last year, so who knows? Maybe they could pull it off again in the playoffs. But I'll go Philly. I'll be kind of boring and have them making it back to the Super Bowl. Now going to AFC. It's where we're gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna go Ravens Bills. Ravens make the Super Bowl. Finally get past Mahomes. Both teams get past Mahomes, but obviously one of them is going to have to take the other out. So my Super Bowl is going to be Baltimore Philly, which would be I feel like a pretty wild one in terms of fans, but also in terms of talent on the field.
I pick Baltimore like every year, and then Kansas City just wins. So I'm gonna pick Kansas City over Baltimore, and hopefully it's the opposite result.
Okay, so you got KC, Tampa. I have Baltimore, Philly. I'm gonna say that the Ravens and Lamar Jackson win this year's Super Bowl. Lamar finally gets his ring. I feel like he's one of like both him and Allen are like the two top guys that I mean you probably have Baker up there, but like outside of my team that I would want to see win a ring. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go Baltimore. I think the defense is so loaded, and Lamar's obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think they finally get breakthrough and win a ring.
Yeah, obviously I gotta go with the Bucks. I'm going with the Baker like storybook fucking career moment
That'd be
here.
pretty wild. That'd be
But
wild.
yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I respect it.
And Stefanski still has a job somehow while this happens.
But yeah, so that caps off our NFL kind of preview predictions for this year. Really excited for the NFL to get back started. Obviously, it's been a really slow couple months for the sports season with the NBA and kind of just NBA ending and then just kind of having baseball going on. So really excited for the NFL to start. Obviously, you got fantasy, and then just watching games on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays. They got games every day of the week this year, it seems like. But yeah. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this NFL preview. Tune in next time.